Zara couldn't believe her eyes when she saw the price tag, $50 million. That's how much the Korean Mafia lord just paid for her. Not for a car, not for a house, for her. And the worst part, her own uncle made the deal while she slept on the plane, drugged and helpless. This story is insane. Hit that subscribe button now, because you won't believe what happens next. It started when Zara won a scholarship to study art in Seoul. Her uncle volunteered to travel with her since she'd never left America before. But on the plane, he gave her a drink that made her dizzy. When she woke up, she was in a mansion so huge it looked like a palace. A man stood by the window, his back turned to her. "Welcome to your new home," he said without looking. His voice was smooth but scary. When he finally turned around, Zara gasped. He was the most handsome man she'd ever seen, tall, sharp jawline, dark eyes that seemed to see through her soul. But his beauty made him more terrifying. This was Kang Min-hyuk, the man the news called Korea's most dangerous criminal. "Your uncle owed me money," Min-hyuk said calmly. $50 million, to be exact. He couldn't pay, so he offered me you instead. I accepted. Zara's legs felt weak. "You can't just buy a person. This is kidnapping." Min-hyuk smiled coldly. "In my world, I can buy anything, including you. Get comfortable. You'll be here for a very long time." Min-hyuk handed Zara a thick document. "Sign this," he ordered. Her hands shook as she read it. The contract said she would work as his personal assistant for 5 years. If she tried to escape, her entire family back in Chicago would pay the price. If she obeyed, he would send money to her sick grandmother every month. It was a trap with no way out. "You're a monster," Zara whispered, tears rolling down her face. Min-hyuk leaned close, so close she could smell his expensive cologne. "Yes, I am. And now you belong to this monster." But something strange happened over the next few days. Min-hyuk didn't hurt her. He gave her a beautiful room, expensive clothes, and anything she wanted to eat. He even bought her art supplies when he noticed her sketching on napkins. "Why are you being nice to me?" Zara asked suspiciously. Min-hyuk was reading papers at his desk. He didn't look up. "I'm not nice. I'm practical. Happy assistants work better than scared ones." But Zara noticed small things, like how he personally made sure her room temperature was perfect, how he ordered her favorite foods without asking, how he got angry when one of his guards looked at her the wrong way. One night, she found him staring at a photo of a little girl. "Who's that?" she asked. Min-hyuk quickly hid the photo. "Someone I failed to protect," he said quietly. For the first time, Zara saw pain in his eyes instead of coldness. Maybe the monster had a heart after all. Maybe she could use that to escape. Or maybe, just maybe, she was starting to feel sorry for him. Zara woke up on her 23rd birthday feeling miserable. She was trapped in a foreign country, owned by a criminal, with no hope of freedom. But when she walked downstairs, she froze in shock. The entire living room was decorated with balloons, flowers, and a huge cake that said, "Happy Birthday, Zara," in perfect English. Min-hyuk stood there in a casual sweater instead of his usual scary suit, looking almost nervous. "How did you know it was my birthday?" Zara asked, her voice cracking. Min-hyuk shrugged. "I know everything about you. Happy birthday." He gave her a small box. Inside was a golden necklace with a dove pendant. "Doves represent freedom," Min-hyuk said softly. "I know you want to fly away. Someday, maybe you will." Zara didn't understand. Why would he give her a symbol of freedom when he was the one keeping her caged? That night, Min-hyuk did something even stranger. He took her to the rooftop where he had set up a telescope. "You told my maid you missed looking at stars," he said. "In Seoul, the city lights hide them, but from up here you can see a few." They sat in silence, looking at stars together. Zara felt confused. How could someone so cruel be so thoughtful? "Why did you really buy me?" she finally asked. Min-hyuk was quiet for a long time. "Because when I saw your photo, I saw something I lost a long time ago," he admitted. "Innocence, light, everything I'm not." He stood up quickly. "Don't read too much into it. You're still my prisoner." But as he walked away, Zara saw him touch his chest, right over his heart. Something was happening between them. Something dangerous and beautiful and completely wrong. Everything changed when Lee Ji-woo appeared. She was Min-hyuk's ex-fiancée, a stunning Korean woman who wore designer everything and looked at Zara like she was trash. "So, this is the American pet everyone's talking about," Ji-woo said with fake sweetness. She wrapped her arms around Min-hyuk possessively. "Darling, why do you keep this girl around? Send her back wherever she came from." Min-hyuk removed her arms coldly. "My business is not your concern anymore." But Ji-woo wouldn't leave. She stayed for dinner, touching Min-hyuk constantly, laughing too loud at his words and shooting death glares at Zara. Zara felt something burning in her chest. It took her a moment to recognize the feeling, jealousy. She was jealous. But why? She hated Min-hyuk, didn't she? That night, Zara couldn't sleep. She heard voices from Min-hyuk's office and crept closer to listen. "Marry me again," Ji-woo was saying. "I made a mistake leaving you. We're perfect together." Zara's heart pounded. Min-hyuk's response was quiet but clear. "I don't love you, Ji-woo. I never did. Our engagement was business, nothing more." "Then who do you love?" Ji-woo demanded. "That American nobody." Silence. Long, heavy silence. Then Min-hyuk said something that made Zara's world spin. "Get out! And don't come back." After Ji-woo left, slamming doors and cursing, Zara ran back to her room. Her heart raced. Min-hyuk didn't deny it. He didn't deny loving her. She touched her dove necklace, her mind racing with confusion. She should hate him. He bought her. He trapped her. But somewhere along the way, the monster had become a man, and she was falling for him. God, what was happening to her? The next day, Min-hyuk was different. He watched Zara constantly with intense eyes that made her skin tingle. During breakfast, their hands touched, reaching for the same coffee cup, and electricity shot through her. During her art session, he sat nearby pretending to work but really just staring at her. The tension was so thick Zara could barely breathe. Finally, she confronted him. "Why are you looking at me like that?" Min-hyuk stood up slowly, walking toward her like a predator. "Like what?" Like you want something," Zara whispered, backing up until she hit the wall. Min-hyuk placed his hands on either side of her head, trapping her. He leaned so close their lips almost touched. "Maybe I do want something," he said, his voice husky. "Maybe I want something I know I shouldn't have." Zara's heart hammered. "Then take it," she heard herself say. What was she doing? But she couldn't stop. Min-hyuk's eyes darkened with desire. He leaned in closer, their lips an inch apart, when suddenly his phone rang. The moment shattered. Min-hyuk stepped back quickly, answering the phone in harsh Korean. His face went cold and dangerous again. When he hung up, the soft man was gone, replaced by the Mafia lord. "Pack a bag," he ordered. "We're leaving in 10 minutes. "Where are we going?" Zara asked, still dizzy from their almost kiss. Min-hyuk's jaw was tight. Someone kidnapped my younger brother, and they want to trade him for you. Zara's blood turned to ice. What? My enemies know you're important to me now, Min-hyuk said, his voice full of rage and regret. This is my fault. I should have kept my distance. Now Jiho will die unless... He didn't finish, but Zara understood. Someone had to be traded, and Min-hyuk had to choose between her and his only family. The exchange happened at an abandoned warehouse by the river. Min-hyuk's men surrounded the area, but the kidnappers had the advantage. They had Jiho, Min-hyuk's 16-year-old brother, tied up and beaten. The leader was a scarred man named Choi, who hated Min-hyuk. Here's the deal, Ghost, Choi laughed. Your brother for your American whore. Choose. Zara saw the pain in Min-hyuk's eyes. She knew he loved his brother more than anything. Jiho was the only family he had left. Before Min-hyuk could speak, Zara made the choice for him. I'll go, she said, stepping forward. Min-hyuk grabbed her arm hard. No, absolutely not. Let me go, Zara said softly, looking into his eyes. Save your brother. He's innocent. I'm not worth his life. You're worth everything, Min-hyuk said desperately, and in that moment, Zara knew the truth. He loved her, really loved her, not as property, but as a person. But love wouldn't save Jiho. Zara pulled away and walked toward Choi. I'll trade myself. Let the boy go. Choi grinned evilly. Finally, some sense. Come here, sweetheart. But as Zara got close, she whispered something that made Choi lean in to hear better. That's when she struck. Using the self-defense moves her dad taught her, she kneed Choi hard and grabbed his gun. Now! She screamed. Min-hyuk's men opened fire. Chaos exploded. In the confusion, Zara ran to Jiho and cut his ropes. Run, she yelled. But Choi wasn't done. He grabbed Zara from behind, putting a knife to her throat. Nobody moves, or she dies, he screamed. Min-hyuk froze, his gun pointed but useless. Blood dripped from Zara's neck where the blade pressed. Please, Min-hyuk begged, and Zara had never heard him beg before. Take me instead. Just let her go. What happened next, nobody expected. Jiho, the 16-year-old everyone thought was helpless, pulled out a hidden gun and shot Choi in the shoulder. The knife dropped. Zara collapsed. Min-hyuk caught her before she hit the ground, holding her so tight she could barely breathe. You beautiful, stupid, brave woman, he whispered into her hair. Don't ever scare me like that again. When they got back to the mansion, Min-hyuk personally cleaned Zara's neck wound, his hands shaking. Why did you do it? He asked quietly. Why risk yourself for my brother? Zara touched his face gently. Because I love you, and I know you love him. The words hung in the air. Min-hyuk closed his eyes like he was in pain. You shouldn't love me, Zara. I bought you. I trapped you. I'm everything wrong in the world. I know, Zara said, but I can't help it. I've tried to hate you. I really have. But somewhere between the birthday stars and the jealousy and almost kisses, I fell in love with you. Min-hyuk kissed her then. Soft and desperate and full of all the words he couldn't say. When they broke apart, tears ran down his face. I'm going to free you, he said. I'm going to tear up that contract. You can go home. You can have your life back. I can't keep you prisoner when I love you this much. But Zara shook her head. What if I don't want to leave? Min-hyuk looked at her like she was crazy. What? What if I choose to stay? Not as your prisoner, but as your equal. As your partner. As someone who loves you freely. Min-hyuk pulled her close again. Then I'll spend every day for the rest of my life proving I'm worthy of that choice. But outside the door, someone listened to everything, and they were not happy at all. The next morning, Jiho was gone. His room was empty, his things packed. Min-hyuk went crazy, searching everywhere. Then he found the note. "Jung, I'm sorry, but she'll destroy everything we built. I have to fix this. Jiho." Zara felt sick. What does he mean? Min-hyuk's face was stone. He's going to trade himself to our enemies to prove loyalty. He thinks you're making me weak. He thinks he's protecting me. They had to find Jiho before he did something stupid. But it was too late. By noon, news reached them. Jiho had walked into enemy territory and offered a deal. Min-hyuk gathered his entire organization for war. But Zara noticed something. Many of his men looked at her with hatred now. They blamed her for splitting their leader's focus. One man, Captain Yoon, confronted Min-hyuk directly. "Sir, she's making you weak. The old ghost would have handled Jiho's situation differently. Now you hesitate. You feel. Feelings get people killed in our world." Min-hyuk's voice was deadly quiet. "Are you questioning my leadership?" Captain Yoon bowed, but didn't back down. "I'm trying to save it." That night, everything went wrong. When Min-hyuk and Zara drove to negotiate for Jiho's release, their own men betrayed them. Captain Yoon and 5 others blocked the road. "I'm sorry, boss," Yoon said, pointing a gun at them, "but we're taking over. And the girl is the first one who has to go." They pulled Zara from the car. Min-hyuk fought like a demon, but there were too many. They beat him down while making him watch as they dragged Zara away. "The old ghost is dead," Captain Yoon announced, "and we're bringing back the Empire the right way, without weaknesses, without love." Min-hyuk's last words before they knocked him unconscious were, "I'll kill every last one of you." Zara screamed his name as they threw her into a van. Everything they built, all their confessions of love, meant nothing now. They were both going to die. Unless a miracle happened. Zara woke up in a cold basement, tied to a chair. Captain Yoon and the traitors stood around her. "Nothing personal," Yoon said, "but love has no place in our world." Min-hyuk forgot that. We're reminding him. But Yoon made one critical mistake. He underestimated Jiho. The 16-year-old had been secretly watching everything. When he saw his brother betrayed and Zara taken, Jiho did something incredible. He contacted Min-hyuk's loyal men, the ones who hadn't turned traitor, and organized a rescue mission. Meanwhile, Min-hyuk woke up locked in his own mansion. His head pounded from the beating, but all he could think about was Zara. He fought his restraints like a wild animal until his wrists bled. "Zara!" he screamed until his voice went raw. Then Jiho appeared at the window like an action movie hero, breaking the glass and jumping inside. "Hyung, I'm so sorry. I was wrong about her. Let me fix this." Together, the brothers gathered their loyal men, 15 fighters who still believed in Min-hyuk. They tracked Zara to an abandoned factory and attacked at dawn. The fight was brutal. Min-hyuk moved through enemies like death itself, and anyone who tried to stop him ended up on the ground. When he finally reached Zara, she was hurt but alive. "I knew you'd come," she whispered. Min-hyuk cut her free and held her face gently. "Always. I'll always come for you." But Captain Yoon wasn't finished. He appeared with a gun pointed at them. "If I can't have the Empire, nobody can." He pulled the trigger. Everything happened in slow motion. Min-hyuk pushed Zara aside and took the bullet meant for her. He fell. "No!" Zara screamed. But Jiho was faster. He shot Yoon before he could fire again. The traitor fell dead. The battle was over. But was Min-hyuk? Min-hyuk was in surgery for 6 hours. Zara sat in the hospital waiting room, covered in his blood, praying to every god she could think of. Ji-ho sat beside her, crying quietly. "This is my fault," he kept saying. "I started this mess." Zara held his hand. "We all made mistakes. But your brother is strong. He'll survive." When the doctor finally came out, he looked tired but relieved. "He's alive." The bullet missed his heart by 2 centimeters. "He's lucky." Zara burst into tears of relief. For 3 days, Min-hyuk slept while his body healed. Zara never left his side. She held his hand, talked to him, begged him to wake up. On the 4th day, his eyes finally opened. "Zara," he whispered. She kissed him softly, tears streaming down her face. "You stupid, brave, incredible man. Don't ever take a bullet for me again." Min-hyuk smiled weakly. "Can't promise that. Protecting you is my job now." Over the next week, as Min-hyuk recovered, they talked about everything. He told her about the traitors, all arrested or dead, about Ji-ho's incredible bravery, forgiven completely, and about the future. "I'm done with this life," Min-hyuk said seriously. "The Mafia, the violence, all of it. I have enough money to last 10 lifetimes. I want out. I want peace. But most of all, I want you." He held her hand tight. "Come away with me. Let's disappear somewhere beautiful where nobody knows our names. Let's build a real life together. What do you say?" Zara's heart felt so full it might explode. "What about my family, my dreams, my art scholarship?" Min-hyuk smiled. "Bring your family. Pursue your art. Dream bigger than you ever imagined. I'll support it all. I just want to be by your side while you do it." It was everything Zara wanted. But could she really trust it? Could love born in darkness survive in the light? 6 months later, Zara stood on a beach in Bali, Indonesia, watching the sunset paint the sky orange and pink. So much had changed. Min-hyuk had kept every promise. He left the criminal world completely, using his wealth to start legitimate businesses. He brought Zara's family from Chicago to visit every few months. He enrolled Zara in the best art school in Indonesia, and her paintings were already being displayed in galleries. And most importantly, he had the contract destroyed, the one that said she was his property. "You were never truly mine," he said when he burned it. "But I'm hoping you'll choose me anyway." Zara chose him. Every single day, she chose him. They got married on that beach with both their families present. Zara's grandmother cried happy tears. Ji-ho was the best man and gave a speech about how his brother finally learned to love. Even Zara's uncle attended, though Min-hyuk made him donate $1 million to human trafficking charities as punishment. Life wasn't perfect. Min-hyuk still had nightmares about his old life. Zara sometimes had panic attacks remembering the kidnapping and violence. But they healed together, one day at a time. Min-hyuk started a foundation to help trafficking victims. Zara taught free art classes to underprivileged children. They turned their pain into purpose. One evening, as they walked on the beach, Min-hyuk stopped suddenly. "Do you ever regret it? Choosing me despite everything?" Zara thought about the question seriously. She thought about the fear, the confusion, the wrong way their story began. But she also thought about the love, the growth, the man he became. "I regret how we met," she said honestly, "but I don't regret where we ended up. You gave me the world. Now I want to give you something." She handed him a small stick. Min-hyuk looked confused. "What's this?" Zara smiled through happy tears. "It's a pregnancy test. We're having a baby." Min-hyuk's face transformed with pure joy. He picked her up and spun her around, laughing and crying at the same time. "We're having a baby," he repeated in wonder. Their story began in the darkest place, but their future was full of light. 3 years later, Zara sat in her art studio watching her daughter play. Little Minji was 2 years old with her father's dark eyes and her mother's bright smile. She was the most beautiful thing Zara had ever seen. Min-hyuk walked in carrying coffee and kissed Zara's head. "How's my favorite artist?" Zara showed him her new painting. It was of a dove breaking free from a cage, flying toward the sun. "I call it freedom through love," she explained. Min-hyuk stared at it with emotion in his eyes. "It's perfect. Like you." That afternoon, they had a visitor, Jae-ho, now 19 and studying business at university. He'd become a completely different person, kind, responsible, and protective of his niece. "Remember when I hated you?" Jae-ho said to Zara, laughing. "I was such an idiot. You're the best thing that ever happened to our family." Zara hugged him. "We all grew up." As the sun set, the family sat together on their porch. Minji played with her toys while the adults talked and laughed. Min-hyuk pulled Zara close. "If you could go back and change everything, would you?" Zara thought about it. The answer should be yes. She should wish she'd never been sold, never trapped, never forced into Min-hyuk's world. But that's not what she felt. "No," she said firmly, because pain led to purpose, darkness led to light, and being bought led to being loved. Our story wasn't perfect, but it's ours. Min-hyuk kissed her softly. "I spent $50 million on you. Best investment I ever made." Zara laughed. "I was never for sale. But my heart? I gave that to you for free." They watched the sunset together, a family built from broken pieces, stronger because of everything they survived. Some love stories start with flowers and dates. Theirs started with chains and fear. But in the end, love is love. No matter how it begins, what matters is how it grows. And theirs grew into something beautiful. Wow! So did Zara make the right choice staying with Min-hyuk? Or should she have run when she had the chance? Would you forgive someone who bought you if they changed and truly loved you? This story is crazy, right? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments below. And if you loved this story, smash that like button. Share it with friends who love dramatic romance. And subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories. Hit the notification bell so you never miss our next upload. See you in the next story.